You take back your power exactly by realizing that you're out of control. You realize that you can trust and accept yourself when you realize that there are things that are not in your control, even if they are not in your conscious awareness. When you realize this, you get a grasp the idea of what it's like to be the change that you want to see in the world. This resonates with me a lot because I have been dating for a few years, multiple years now. Not because I'm a partner that just is incompatible with everyone and cannot possibly find a date, but because I was meant to do that. I was meant to date for multiple years without actually settling down by a specific person, even though my parents are still together in marriage. What I have learned was that males are especially motivated by females. They're inspired by women. They live for women, right? Every single man who identifies as a heterosexual male is inspired by women. So, looks are a huge aspect of that. But energies are even more important. And what I have noticed was that the women who motivate men the most were the women who actually are motivated by themselves and inspired and blessed in their own lives already. So, what all these women have in common was the belief that they are secure in themselves, with themselves, and whether it was in the beginning or in the later stages of any relationship, these women held the belief that they had what it took. So they were the quote unquote it girl that motivates the guy, the dream girl that gets the guy, but that's not the point. Today's men have become spoiled and lazy because women are still in the functioning of overdoing, meaning they act exactly as their mothers have been acting, which is self sacrificing, giving when they don't feel like they have enough. So the chase essentially is the flow for men, but they cannot chase a woman that chases them. And a woman cannot chase a man if she is fulfilled. But how does she become fulfilled if she does not hold the belief that she is a contributing factor to the economy, that she is a valuable person and human? Not just as a woman, but as a human. That she can be the change that she wants to see in the world. And let's assume that she does want to change the world, not just to survive. She doesn't just want to survive to provide for family, as does a man provide for his family, usually, and ancestrally speaking. But she wants to give something back to the universe that is way beyond just herself and maybe even her own child. Let's face it, if a woman has a child today, that child will not live in her mother's career. That child will not see the exact patterns and thoughts that the mother has while doing her job. But a mother in her job will have no other option but to live in their bliss if she has a daughter or a son. Because if a mother has a child, then she has something to live for that is beyond herself already. Whereas if a man has a child, his ego will be stroked to make him work harder and better and achieve higher levels, essentially for the sake of him being able to provide for his family. But that action of doing better for his family validates his ego, and it does not validate the woman. So traditionally, unless a woman has a child with a man, that man will not have the instincts to protect what is theirs, to protect what is his and hers together, even if that possession is the woman's heart itself. A man will not have the instinct to provide and care and take care of her emotions and her well-being unless there is a physical manifestation of her love and her love to him, which is a child. So the exception to this is the cases in which a man has already been asked to provide for his woman by the woman herself preemptively. So without the woman having a child with the man, but a woman becomes the change that she wants to see in the world by inspiring herself, by being inspired, by being indulgent and living in her bliss even before and without the presence of a man, any particular man in her life. And it is for this reason that I think so many women underestimate their power today, or even if they're born with the awareness of how much power they have, not just because they can give birth and create life and nourish it, but also because they can inspire other life. So, no, a mother in and of itself, in and of herself, is not at her full potential upon becoming a mother. A mother is most accomplished when she feels like she is doing whatever it is that inspires her. So, assuming that one's aspiration is to change the world, sticking with that example, and assuming that a man's specific motivation in life is to live for women in general, and more specifically, live for the woman that he chooses or that he has a child with, the world will not change if systems remain the same. And today, in this day and age, it's entirely upon women to change the system, because we live in a men's world, a world made by men for men. So women have contribution in this by the means of the votes that they take with their actions. Women contribute with enabling and answering and responding to the economy that exists. And participating in it can manifest in like manly ways and masculine behaviors, but it does not necessarily have to. So, because a man is motivated and feels believed and motivated by chasing a target, because it's a flow state, right? It's the zone, it's full and complete focus on something that he's not entirely in control of, with a sense of beauty and bliss and accomplishment in the meantime. So he has both skill and joy in the activity. Assuming that a man is very simplistically, generally focused on whatever goal is ahead of him that he feels committed to. A woman changes the world by realizing the dynamics of ancestrally imbued relationships embedded in our genetics. But these genes are changing. These genes can be changed the very minute that you take a breath. These genes are not set in stone. Why? Because there's evolution of everything all the time. There's growth, there's expansion, etc., etc. But a woman changes the world. That is a man's world, created by man, by not only becoming more feminine, feeling more empowered as a woman, but also finding herself something that she can live for and die for, something that is beyond her, something that gives her a sense of accomplishment and vision. Without that vision or accomplishment or goal being herself, this can be untrue in a way if the person, the woman, is motivated by achieving a certain image of herself that she would like to use as a business idea, for example. So let's say that a woman is a model, right? She has to look good and representative to represent her own personal brand, which is her face or her body or her way of walking, whatever. She can master those things that make up her as a woman, as a human, as a person, to sell that image. But that image is just a part of her, and she can put that forth as like a mask, or she can implement it in her way of being. It doesn't matter. The point is, she has found something to live for that is beyond herself now, herself, the way she's been, the way she's been raised, the way she's been told to be, and the way she was out to begin with. And still, because this is a world made for and by man, a woman doing all of what I have just said, so finding a goal, finding a vision to live for, finding something to die for that is beyond her, that she's not entirely in control of, that she can trust, that she can look forward to, that she gets motivated by, that's not it. Why? Because the man is the masculine party. It's the man is the initiative party. The man is the one who initiates change, and humanity and society will not see ultimate change unless the men take that first step of societal change. So, even though men usually find themselves being got back to with another woman's opinion about his current girlfriend, who he is dating right now, but he is not sure if she is her girlfriend right now because she is a bit manipulative and toxic and behaving a certain way that he just cannot predict always, but he's into. So even though he, the man, is faced with all this female attention that he just can't really understand the source of, he has to realize that all of that may be the source of understanding women in general and himself with women, but unless he commits himself to one woman to understand her in the most profound of ways, he will not be able to give that woman a sense of security and safety so that woman actually feels safe with her. And even if that man promises the world for and to this woman because he believes that she is the dream girl, he can mean what he says, but that's not enough. Actions are the things that matter, and actions are the things that actually account for love. And love is control, but also self-control. Love is so little without self-control and discipline and giving the other person a sense of autonomy and freedom at the same time. A man who believes in himself, who has become the beast because he's been exposed to the type of rush that is in his body upon seeing the woman of his dreams, the woman that he chose to be with, the woman that he wants to commit himself to. His faith is not enough without her faith. But her faith can be so strong that it turns a man into a beast.